Hello everyone! Good morning classmates! Good morning to our facilitator, Miss Lita Bolivia. So for today, we will be reporting the first pillar of education, which is the learning to know. Stay tuned and enjoy learning.
What is learning to know? Learning to know is the one that supports itself and in life of education. We'll know that learning to know is part of pillar education. Learning to know can access and accurate memory skills, thinking abilities of informations. Learning to know can help students to learn something about the topic. Learning to know can accessing new information.
When we say learning to know, it's the development of knowledge and skills needed to function this world. So when we say learning to know, it's also learning to learn. This learning to know talks about formal acquisition of literacy, numeracy, critical thinking, and general knowledge. And I want you to remember that learning to know is the most important pillar of education since it is the first ones we develop and we use in our lives.
What is a learning tool? A learning tool is an instrument designed to be used by learners to provide the structure for growing learning skills and behaviors and or systematically collecting and thinking about key information. We also have three branches of learning tools, which are the numeracy, literacy, and life skills.
Numeracy. Numeracy is the knowledge, skills, behavior, and dispositions that students need in order to use in a wide range of situations. It can enhance the learning area's specific concept.
Literacy is the ability to read, write, speak, and listen in a way that let us communicate effectively and make sense of the world. So, literacy for learning helps students develop the literacy skills they need to do well at school and in their future lives. We work with teachers and literacy leaders to develop a range of approaches to support reading, writing, speaking, and listening.
Life skills are abilities for adaptive and positive behavior that enables humans to deal effectively with the demands and challenges of life. So broadly speaking, life skills refers to skills you need to make the most out of life.
Learning to know implies learning how to learn. There are three components of learning to learn. The first component is concentration. Concentration is the ability to think carefully about something you are doing. It means controlling your attention and focus the mind on one subject, object, and at the same time exclude any other unrelated thoughts, ideas, feelings, and sensations.
The second component is memory skills. It is the ability to remember past experiences and the power or process of recalling to mind previously learned facts, experiences, impressions, skills, and habits. While some selectivity is undoubtedly required when choosing facts to be learned by heart, the specifically human ability of associative memorization is not something that can be reduced to an atomic process. It has to be carefully cultivated and learned.
The third component is thinking. The action of using one's mind to produce thoughts. We use our thinking skills every day. They help us to make good decisions, understand the consequences of our actions, and solve problems. Thinking clearly and systematically can improve the way we express our thoughts and ideas with others. By learning how to analyze the logical structure of information, critical thinking also improves the ability to comprehend complex problems and formulate rational solutions.
What is the implication of learning to know to the teaching profession? These are some strategies that we will be sharing in order for us to fulfill the first pillar of education, which is learning to know.
The first strategy is to train the students to develop metacognition skills. As future educators, we must first develop ourselves on our own mental skills in order for us to reach our learner how to hone theirs. So when teaching out the students, we must focus not only on teaching them the concept, but also on the process on how to acquire the concept That's what we call metacognition skills.
Constructivist teaching method. When we say constructivist teaching method, then here is when we allow students to discover skills.
Shun spoon feeding. And of course, it is our desire to shun spoon feeding. When we say shun spoon feeding, it is to present information caused only by allowing our students to think, to process, to reason out will they develop it, and by doing. So, we are honing our students in critical thinking.
Learning to know helps individuals to develop values and skills, respecting and searching for knowledge and wisdom. Learn to learn, acquire a taste of learning throughout life, develop critical thinking, acquire tools for understanding the world, create curious learning, and lastly, understand sustainability concepts and issues.
So remember, when it comes to learning to know, it involves developing 21st century learners. As future educators, it is our responsibility to become facilitator, catalyst, monitor, and evaluator of learning in order to help students to learn how to learn, to acquire tools to understand various concepts in the world, in general, to develop critical thinking, and finally, to become self-directed learners.